Kirkner with Donner and Associates. Today I'm with Gary Green from the Amapas Neighborhood Association.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hola, hola. So you're the president of the Neighborhood Association.
I am.
Here in Amapas.
I am. I've lived in Puerto Vallarta full-time now for 18 years, originally from the Southern California area, and been president of the organization for the last 2 years now.
Okay, so a couple questions. For those of you that don't know Amapas, it's the colonia directly south of Emiliano Zapata.
Yes.
So it starts at where?
We start at Rodolfo Gomez, which is kind of where the San Marino Hotel is, and up, and then all the way down towards the beach and Mantamar, Blue Chairs area, then of course up into the hills. So we border Conchas Chinas. So we literally go down pretty much to where the Oxo is on the highway, a little south.
Okay, and all the way up the hill. So, and so there's lots of streets, Hortensias, Gardenias, and
Los Pinos.
Right, and the ones that you know of close to the beach, like where Garbo's is and stuff like that, and all of that. So yeah, and Los Muertos Beach is mostly in Amapas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and so the Neighborhood Association, I was surprised to know that actually every colonia here in Mexico has one, and they kind of are technically a charity.
Yeah, well, we have a mission of responsible development. We have a number of social activities. Safety is actually a big issue for our membership, but we are a registered civil association. So, and as Derek said, we just about every neighborhood in the city, and so we do have representation with the city. Unfortunately, the last administration hasn't been as cooperative as previous ones, but this November we have a new administration coming in, and I know he's enlisting a lot of the past people to be in his cabinet, and hopefully we'll get more support.
Everybody's excited about this new administration coming to the city. Okay, so what exactly does a neighborhood association do, and who's involved? Everybody that lives in Amapas can be part of it, but it's not mandatory.
No, we have about 22, 23 full building memberships in Amapas, and we have about 600 members. So we have a pretty large group, a membership group compared to other associations. The fees generally run about 2,000 pesos a year, and for that pretty much covers our overhead. We have a full-time staff person who's a lawyer. She's been with us for a long time. We have an office up here in Amapas. All the other events that we have, such as the revitalization of the Amapas stairs and the garbage containers and different other projects, we rely on our members to fundraise and raise money for those specific projects.
So because it's a charity, is that mean it's tax deductible for 2,000 pesos, or?
It is, yes.
Okay, so if you're a member, if you're in Amapas and you're not a member, why aren't you? You're helping make your neighborhood better, because you look after security, right? Safety, beautification, that's the word,
Right. We have WhatsApp groups for every single neighborhood, like the Hortensias, Gardenias area. We have one in Los Pinos. We have 2 other neighborhood WhatsApp groups. And of course, we have our master WhatsApp security group that as soon as we send a message, if there is an issue in our neighborhood, the police or other officials are very, very quick to respond.
Okay, so you were talking about the stairs down by Santa Barbara. There was a huge, storm and landslide years ago. The street still hasn't been replaced. The stairs have recently been replaced thanks to the Amapas Neighborhood Association, and then been recently painted by Tamale.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. And some members too volunteered and helped out. Tell us more about that and what else is needed for that.
Yeah. Well, the project came as a result of the closure of Santa Barbara Street. We found that there's more and more pedestrians that are using the stairs and coming up the highway. So before we rebuilt the stairs, it was quite dangerous. We used to always get reports of people being injured. The lighting was terrible. There were several railings that were missed. So we undertook the project. It was about $50,000, which was the largest project we ever undertook. We did raise that money, and that was to rebuild the stairs, obviously painting all these murals, and there's kind of an iconic figure on all the walls based on the history of Puerto Vallarta. So we are going to put QR codes that'll land back in our Facebook group that kind of explains the reasoning behind the different icons that we have. The next project, the final phase, is doing a recognition wall, which will be done at the base of the stairs, and that'll give a list of all the donors that contributed to the project. And we will have a kickoff and an official unveiling of the stairs coming up later in November, probably the second or third week of November.
Great. So I guess a lot of members, because there's a lot of foreign investment here in Amapas, Canadians, Americans, they're here in November starting for the most part, yeah, and here for the high season. And another question, you were talking about the highway. You talked about another project as far as safety in the highway, because I know it's dangerous. I've sold some clients properties here in Amapas, and they're like, "Do we just cross the highway to get to the beach?" And I'm like, "Yeah, be careful crossing the highway, because some of the turns here are kind of crazy, and some of the drivers are kind of crazy."
Yes. So we're going to be starting a campaign that will be at the end of this year, and it's a highway safety project where we're installing these very heavy-duty topes. We're also putting some signage, some reflection signage, and hopefully we'll have something like a machine that kind of indicates how fast you're going. We really want to slow traffic down and kind of educate the people and educate the pedestrians that they don't necessarily have the right of way down here. Again, with the increased pedestrian traffic that we have now on the highway, we're getting more and more calls of people being injured, because between the motorcycles and the cars and the big trucks, it is becoming pretty dangerous. So we're excited about this campaign. We're going to be installing this in 4 different areas. We're going to be installing it across from the Kiosco area, where it breaks into 2 different lanes. We're going to do the Hortensis area, Los Pinos, and then also down near where the Casa Cupola entrance is, just south of Oxo. So that'll be 4 pretty significant areas, and we're excited about that. And that'll probably end up running us about $15,000 for the installation of all the materials.
Well, yeah, that's something they should have at the airport on one of the big billboards, instead of all of the timeshare people, a sign that says, "Don't assume when you're crossing the street the cars are going to stop for you here," because that's not the case.
Yes.
Okay, great talking to you. I hope you learned a little bit more about neighborhood associations and how they work. And if you're in Amapas, I said join it. There's a Facebook page, the Amapas Neighborhood Association, and the web page or website is Amapas PV.
Exactly. We're always looking for volunteers. The second Saturday of every month, we have a Saturday cleanup to beautify the area. So we're always looking for volunteers. Yeah, we'd love to have more people involved. So just hit us up on our social media, and we'll get back to you and get you signed up.
Good. I'll post that all here. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Appreciate it.